So hi everyone, my name is Nicolas Béchat and I'm a co-founder at Alpaca. So today I will show you how we take advantage of Facebook Messenger's capabilities for our apartment search chatbot. So before we start, I just want to give you a bit of context on what we do at Alpaca. So we have built the largest network of housing communities on Facebook, namely within Facebook groups. And on top of these communities, we are helping our users find an apartment to rent with our partners. So they can be landlords or property managers. And as our users are already on Facebook, we provide this service through our Facebook Messenger chatbot. And we have built it with Rasa. So our bot Alex gathers user preferences for the apartment searches. It provides personalized recommendations to our users, and it helps them request a viewing with the landlord or the property manager. So on top of the conversational interface that you have in any chatbot, Facebook Messengers provide a wide array of non-textual interactions that improves the user experience. So for example, we use generic templates, or I like to call them carousels, to display multiple graphical elements at once. We also have typing indicators that kind of add rhythm to the conversation and make it look a bit more natural. We also use extensively web views, which are basically a web application embedded within Facebook Messenger. And finally, we use a parameter that you can add to a link to our chatbot so that we can know where our users are coming from and what they want to do. So I will go now into a bit more details on 3 of these type of interactions. So when you search for an apartment, you want to know how it looks and you want to see multiple apartments at once. And with generic templates, we have a beautiful way of displaying apartments right within the conversations. And the good thing is that it also gives us a very convenient access to the web views, so this app within Messenger, through all the buttons that you can see on the cards here. So if you want to see details about an apartment or see it on the map. And we implemented this with simply a custom Rasa action. And more importantly, we use web views for different interactions that can be a bit hard or slow to do within a conversation. So, for example, our users can fill their preferences within the conversation, with a typical Rasa form. But however, they can also save time by filling or editing their preferences within the web view. And this is especially useful for multiple choice inputs. So for when you choose neighborhoods or dozen of neighborhoods or the type of units that you want. You can also scroll through hundreds of listings at once instead of going 4x4 with the carousel that we saw before. And finally, you can also display as much details as you want on a specific apartment. So you can even show some insights about the apartment, an interactive map to see where it is and the subway lines, a video tour, 3D tours, etc. And I think what is very interesting is that you can actually loop back to the chatbot. So for example, when a user wants to request a viewing for this apartment, they can click on the button and then we go back to the chatbot conversation and start a viewing request within the conversation. And to do this, we actually use Rasa trigger intents to loop back to the conversation. And the Rasa 2.0 rule policy also helps to have a consistent experience after that. Finally, we are using referral parameters to influence the conversation. So what do I mean by that? So imagine we promote a specific apartment in one of our Facebook groups with a link to our chatbots. So we add a parameter to the chatbot URL with a little code. And when the user clicks on the link, we convert that ref parameter into an intent and a set of entities. So that way, the bot knows which apartment the user is talking about and directly presents the information and possible action for the apartments. So for example, if a user clicks on this link, they will see the information about the apartment. They can now click to see the web views, and they have a suggestion that they can request a viewing or search other apartments. And the other advantage of this is that it gives us analytics on where our users are coming from. Is it from which Facebook groups, for example? And for this implementation, we had to hack a bit the standard Rasa Facebook channel so that we could actually get those referral parameters from Facebook. So for all of this, Rasa has been really instrumental in helping us fully utilize Facebook Messenger's potential. As it is open source, we could really heavily customize the codes, not just Rasa action, but also like the Facebook channel. And we could also contribute in fixing a few bugs on very, very new features. And finally, I think the community is really great. So, for example, the typing indicators I mentioned at the beginning, I adapted this from a trick that Alejandro Betancourt shared in the Rasa Slack channel. And lastly, I want to mention that the Rasa 2.0 rule policy really made it much easier to handle interactions between the web view and back to the chatbots. It's kind of this back and forth. So that was a very short talk, but I hope you learned something. And so thank you very much for your attention.